only to be sorely disappointed when you actually got it? Was it because you wanted it for the wrong reason, or simply just didn't realize everything involved? This perception problem seemed to plague me as a young boy. For instance, when I was little, my older brother played baseball and would sell candy bars every year to raise money. I thought selling candy looked really fun, but when I convinced my parents to sign me up, I found I hated selling candy. This same problem came back to haunt me when it came to braces. All my friends had braces, and I envied them. Until it was my turn, and I found out how cool they really were. While the baseball mistake only lasted a few months, my journey with braces is in its 5th year. I've learned my lesson. Now I'm waiting on my teeth. In the meantime, I'd like to share a few stages of my orthodontic journey with you, including how it started, some of the struggles along the way, and lastly, what I've learned from the experience and what I hope you can gain as well. At one point in time, it seemed as if all my friends had braces. They got new nicknames like Brace Face and got to choose cool colors. I knew it was my destiny to get braces. Then, when I was 12, my parents considered braces for me to fix what had begun to look like fangs. I was pretty happy until I got them on, with no colors available and the pain increasing. The first 24 hours progressively included discomfort, gum sores, pain, and agony. There was also the extreme urge to yell, "Will someone just get me a chew toy or a teething ring?" Over the next 3 to 4 days, I gradually worked my way up the food chain. I thought I had conquered at age 3. I then became acquainted with some problems that would be here for a while. First of all, and my most prevalent personal predicament, is the atrocious portions of every meal that you don't actually swallow until several minutes later. In addition, as a teenage guy, you know I'm eating at least 6 to 7 times a day. And as someone who likes to eat rather healthily, I learned to be careful not to give people what my brother would call a salad bar grin. Of course, if someone asks what you had for lunch today, no need to reply, just ask them to find out for themselves. Oh, and then there are the foods you can't, meaning aren't supposed to eat. Imagine 4 gruesome years of deprivation, gazing longingly at all these nutritious foods. In reality, I must admit I've broken almost every rule, and in turn almost every bracket, but hey, it wasn't always my fault. Once I broke a bracket while eating tofu. I was just dying for them to ask me what I had eaten, so I could proudly say, extra firm tofu. Well, at least it gave me an excuse never to eat that again. One advantage, of course I don't condone purposely breaking the rules, but at times you just can't resist. One advantage to braces, however, is that you do get sympathy. Not from siblings who you occasionally chew loudly, but from speech and debate judges who understand your difficulty in saying competition is superior to cooperation. Then, after 5 months of treatment, my orthodontist decided to further correct my malocclusion, a fancy word meaning bad bite, by using the Mara appliance. Whoops! When I first heard the name, I was thinking, appliance is in a microwave? And Mara is in the word bitter from the Bible? Well, it wasn't quite as bad as all that, and it did improve my jaw's position. It works by forcing you to bite in the correct position, referred to as class 1. When the patient closes, attempting to go to their normal but improper class 2 position, this shim is stopped by the wedge and forces them to move the jaw into class 1. After about a week, you get used to this, and the jaw begins to set itself in that new position. Thankfully, my bitter treatment with this device only lasted for about 8 months. Once I learned to be careful what I ate, and got used to all this stuff in my mouth, life still didn't go back to normal. I longed to eat foods I knew were dangerous, and though I sometimes forgot they were there, every glance in the mirror reminded me that my pearlies were hidden behind a network of wires. This silver-mouthed image, however, could possibly be the best part about my experience with braces, as it taught me something about appearance. It's really not that important. Sometimes you can't change certain things, and you must accept them. Now, you may be wondering how I can say all this, when the whole point of wearing braces is to improve one's appearance. Well, that is not always the case. You see, my teeth were straight, those fangs fixed, and I got my braces off after 3 years of treatment. It was, in a word, glorious. I was free to eat, to speak, and to smile. Obviously, though, this pearly white paradise was short-lived, since, as you can see, I have braces now. Well, 6 months later, my dentist found a major function problem with my back teeth. The sobering fact was they weren't touching. My teeth had begun to revert to their evil ways, and retainers were no good here. Within a month, my braces were on again. What's worse, nobody will even see the difference when they are removed for the last time. But I must remember that looks are not the most important part. Pretty teeth should not be our only goal, says braces.org up here, but should be considered more of a side effect to braces. In reality, the far more important issue is function and alignment, which when ignored can cause serious problems down the road. Braces can move teeth that are overcrowding, eliminating these hard to clean areas that might otherwise suffer from tooth decay or other dental issues. Susan Runner, chief of the Dental Devices branch in the FDA's Center for Devices and Radiological Health, says that braces can correct severe bite problems that would hamper eating and give a greater risk of gum disease and tooth and bone loss. Improper alignment, especially on back teeth, can also cause significant jaw problems and what is known as temporomandibular joint disorder, usually just called TMJ. The name refers to the actual joint, with the temporal upper skull bone meets the mandible lower jawbone. Braces can reduce and prevent jaw problems involving the TMJ, such as clicking, locking, and pain, by ensuring the bite is consistent and even. So this is why it was necessary for me to get braces back on and correct my bite. Braces aren't even just for kids and teens. Statistics show that 15 to 20% of orthodontic patients are adults, and the benefits remain, including helping teeth last longer and improving overall quality of life. According to the American Association of Orthodontists, about 4.5 million people in America today are wearing braces or other dental appliances, and that number is increasing. This is partly due to the more cost-effective, comfortable, and cosmetic braces that we have these days. Compare these 1929 braces to today's models. So, overall, the benefits that braces bring are clear, though not for the reasons I had originally imagined. Instead, like my candy selling experience, I found that braces aren't quite as glamorous as they seemed. It just goes to show that the grass is always greener on the other baseball diamond, and the color's always cooler at your friend's orthodontist. Through this experience, however, I've learned a valuable lesson about not being so self-conscious. A lesson that, though often told, is much harder to learn. We've also seen that braces are definitely a lesson in patience as you wait for the day when they will be removed. A day that, for me anyway, seems like a mirage, never within reach. Lastly, we've seen some of the many advantages of braces, such as improving oral health. Despite not being what anyone would class as enjoyable, and the struggles they present at times, braces sometimes just want a laugh. And though they aren't quite as cool as I thought they would be, I'm glad to know that my future will be bright. And hey, with those orthodontic builds, it better be, with not only straight, but functional teeth. Anyone want to buy a candy bar?
Me.